welcome back. So we are going to go over your enrollment timeline. So this is something a lot of you are here for, is when do I need to enroll? And this can be very individualized. Not everybody needs to enroll at the same time, depending on your circumstances, how you're working, if your spouse needs coverage, all of those things can affect when you should probably enroll into Medicare. And so if you have specific questions for your situation, give us a call, shoot us an email, shoot us a text, whatever works best. And we would love to help answer specific questions for you. But this is just in general, these are when you can enroll.
So your first open enrollment is when you turn 65. You can enroll 3 months prior to the month in which you turn 65, all the way up until 3 months after. So you got a 7-month window to enroll into Medicare. If you are continuing to work and maintain employer coverage, and it's credible coverage after you turn 65, then you can enroll into Medicare 8 months from your retirement date or the date that your coverage ended, whichever one comes first, and you can enroll anytime prior to that. So for instance, if you know in October that you're going to be retiring the following April, then you can start getting the ball rolling and getting applied for Medicare at that time, and just let Social Security know, hey, I'm going to be retiring in April. I need an April 1st effective date, and they should be able to facilitate that for you.
We also get the question a lot, what does credible coverage mean? So all that means is that your coverage through your employer is as good as or better than Medicare. And whoever is in charge of HR at your company that you work for, they will know whether it's credible or not. So that's just a question you ask them, and they'll be able to tell you. So if it is credible, you're good to stay on that till you're ready to retire. If it's not credible, then you're going to want to get enrolled into Medicare, because if you don't, then you'll be penalized for that time that you weren't enrolled that you could have been. And Colton will talk about penalties here in a second, but just something to be aware of, that you want to make sure it is credible, and your HR director at your company will be able to give you that information.
So if you are going to enroll into Medicare after one of these, for some reason you just decide, you know what, I don't want Medicare, and then later on you decide, actually, I do want Medicare, then this is the period for you. So you will sign up from January to March of each year. There is a general time that they open up that you can enroll, and then your coverage would be affected the next month. So you enroll January 15th, your coverage will start February 1st, and henceforth. So that is your different enrollment timelines for getting enrolled into Medicare. If you are signing up for Medicare Advantage or a prescription drug plan, these are your enrollment timelines. So your initial enrollment period is the same exact thing as Medicare. So you can enroll 3 months prior to your 65th birthday month, all the way up to 3 months after. And so that will give you, again, that 7-month window where you can apply for a Medicare Advantage or a prescription drug plan. I would say you can do your supplement plan at that time too if you would like. Typically, just do all of those kind of in the same general time. For Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plans in particular, though, there is what's called the annual election period. And so that is going to be each year from October 15th to December 7th. You have the opportunity to look at new plans that are coming, make sure that your plan isn't going to be changing or going away or any of those types of things. And you can enroll or change plans if you would choose for a January 1st effective date of the following year.
And what we like to do with our clients is just kind of do an annual review. Hey, is everything working good? Have you had any major health changes? Do you take new prescriptions? All of those types of things will come into play when you're looking at new plans for the upcoming year. And we can help facilitate a change, or most of the time, a lot of times, I wouldn't say most of the time, a lot of times we tell people, hey, you're good. Don't mess with anything. Keep it how it is. Don't let anybody sell you anything. So we're not afraid to tell you not to sign up on something. So that's just kind of a service that we offer, is just a review each year to make sure that everything is going to be covered the way it needs to be for the following year.
Right. If you choose a supplement plan as your secondary coverage, you're good on a supplement. It's not going to change year to year as far as coverage. Sometimes your rates will go up. If it becomes more expensive than what you want to pay, we can look at switching to a cheaper supplement. Like I said, the only thing that's different with those supplement plans is what they cost you. So we can always look at that. But it's during the annual enrollment period that we'll look at your drug plan and see if that's still a good fit for you. Like you said, if you've taken more drugs, or if you're taking more or more expensive ones, then we can look at different plans that'll work for you. It's your Medicare Advantage plans that are the big change, usually during AEP, and that's when you get bombarded with the phone calls and the mail, and you just get harassed. So that's what's going on at that time. Something to understand how it works and if
Yeah.
you need to make a change or not. So
Yep, exactly. And then after you turn 65, if you had retired later, like say you retired age 70 or something like that, and you had employer coverage, you enrolled into Medicare after you retired, then you can apply for a Medicare Advantage plan or a prescription drug plan 3 months prior to your Part B effective date. And so, like in this instance, if you retired in June, and June was the first day that you lost your employer coverage, then you would be able to apply for Medicare Advantage or a prescription drug plan in March at the soonest.
all right, so what are the penalties associated with Medicare? That's what we always hear, the penalties, and it scares people to death. But basically, because you're watching these videos, you're already on top of it. Penalties aren't really something you need to worry about. The first penalty, though, that you need to be aware of but not worried about is your Part B penalty. So this is an additional 10% for each full month, 12-month period without coverage. So it's not a calendar year. It's 12 months from when you should have enrolled in Part B and you didn't. So that 10% penalty you're going to have every month for the rest of your life that you have Part B. That's never going to go away.
Yep. And as far as your Part D penalty, it's a little bit different, a little bit more complicated, but
they will charge you an additional 1% of the national average premium times the number of months that you were without coverage. So basically, if you have a 12-month period that you're without coverage, you're going to pay an additional 12% of the average premium, which, as we're speaking now in 23, is about $30, $35 a month. So you'll pay an additional 1% of that amount for each month that you did not have coverage.
And these penalties both only apply if you are foregoing these options and then you enroll. They don't penalize you while you don't have them. They penalize you if you didn't have them and then you sign up in the future.
Right.
And so that's just something that we want people to be aware of. A lot of people don't take any prescriptions or anything. So they wonder, well, why would I pay a premium for a prescription drug plan when I don't take anything? And maybe you don't want to, but just need to know that you will have a penalty if you choose to sign up later. And so that's just something we try and help everybody be aware of, because those penalties can add up super fast if you're not careful. And so a lot of these, like the Part D premiums, we can get you one that's very, very reasonable, won't cost you very much, and then you don't have to worry about that penalty at all.
Right. And if you're one of those individuals that you want to work past 65, like we talked about, if you're going to have credible coverage through your company, you don't need to worry about these penalties. They're not going to penalize you for the time that you're working and have that coverage through your work. You would just be penalized if you dropped your employer coverage and didn't enroll in Medicare. Then you'll be penalized for all of that time.
Yep.